At a holiday party, I said, "I can't wait for the family gathering tomorrow." My brother smirked. "What are you talking about? It was yesterday." My aunt took out her phone and showed me pictures. Everyone was there, smiling and having fun. My brother just shrugged. "Guess I forgot to tell you, haha." I didn't say a word and simply left. But in the end, they were the ones who regretted it. I had been looking forward to seeing my family and was sure I'd get to catch up with everyone. So when I mentioned it at the party, I couldn't believe it when my brother laughed and told me it had already happened. Yesterday. As if that wasn't enough, my aunt pulled up photos on her phone, showing everyone enjoying the gathering without me. My brother brushed it off, saying he had forgotten to tell me. I was stunned by such a betrayal, but instead of confronting them, I just left in silence. I thought that was the end of it, but they had no idea that their actions would come back to haunt them. My name is Alex. I'm 28 years old. I live in a modest apartment in the bustling city of Chicago, where the cold winds of winter are as biting as the loneliness I often feel. My family, a loud, boisterous bunch, lives in the suburbs, where every holiday is an event, a spectacle of joy and togetherness. There's my brother Mark, always the joker with his easy smile and quicker wit. My sister Emily, the peacemaker, who always tries to keep the family together. And my Aunt Linda, the matriarch, who organizes every family gathering with military precision. Tonight, I'm at a holiday party, not with my family, but with colleagues from work. The room is filled with laughter, the clinking of glasses, and the soft hum of holiday music. I'm sipping on eggnog, feeling out of place, when I decide to share my excitement about the upcoming family reunion. "Can't wait for tomorrow," I say, my voice a mix of anticipation and a need for connection. As I speak, the room falls silent, and Mark's chuckle pierces through the festive noise. It's not just any chuckle, it's the kind that makes you pause. The kind that signals something unexpected, something that could change the mood in an instant. I look around, trying to catch his eye, but he's already turned away, his laughter mingling with the holiday tunes, leaving me with a sense of unease. The party continues, but my mind is elsewhere, back to the last family gathering where Mark's humor took a turn for the worse. He had made a comment, one that was meant to be funny, but instead cut deep, leaving a silence that was more telling than any words could be. It was about Aunt Linda's strict control over the family events, suggesting she ran them like a drill sergeant, which wasn't far from the truth, but the way he said it, the tone, it was like he was exposing a raw nerve. I remember how Emily, the diplomat, tried to smooth things over, her voice gentle, almost pleading for peace. But the damage was done, and the festive atmosphere was replaced by a tension that lingered like the scent of pine from the Christmas tree. That's the thing about family gatherings. They're a mix of love, laughter, and sometimes the unspoken resentments that bubble to the surface when you least expect it. Here I am at another party, surrounded by people who know me only as the quiet guy from accounting, and yet I feel the same undercurrent of tension. It's not just about the family reunion tomorrow. It's about the anticipation of what might unfold, the unspoken words, the looks that could speak volumes. I take another sip of eggnog, the sweetness doing little to mask the bitterness of my thoughts. The room buzzes back to life, but my mind is on tomorrow, on the family, on Mark's chuckle, and the silence that followed. What will this reunion bring? Will it be the usual Mark's chuckle turns into a full-blown laugh? What? "It was yesterday," he says, his eyes twinkling with mischief. I freeze, the eggnog suddenly tasting sour. Aunt Linda, overhearing, walks over, with her phone in hand, showing me photos from the reunion. There they are, all of them, smiling, laughing, enjoying the day without me. My heart sinks as I see the empty space where I should have been. I try to laugh it off, but the hurt is palpable. Emily, sensing the tension, tries to lighten the mood. "Oh, Alex, you know how Mark is with dates. He probably got confused," she says, but her words feel hollow. Mark just shrugs. "Guess I forgot to tell you, haha." His laughter echoing in my ears as I leave the party, the silence of the night enveloping me like a cold embrace. The chill of the Chicago wind bites at my face as I walk away from the warmth of the party. My mind races, replaying the scene over and over. How could they have forgotten me? Or was it intentional? The seed of doubt plants itself in my mind, sprouting tendrils of suspicion and hurt. I pull my coat tighter around me, the fabric doing little to shield me from the cold or the sting of betrayal. I think back to the times when family meant everything, when we were all together, when I was part of the laughter, not the punchline. The memories are sweet, but now tinged with bitterness. As I walk, my thoughts drift to the last time I felt truly included, at Aunt Linda's birthday a couple of years ago. She had made a point to include me in the planning, asking for my input, making me feel valued. But now, it seems like that was just a fleeting moment, a temporary reprieve from the outsider status I've come to know so well. The streetlights cast long shadows on the pavement, mirroring the darkness I feel inside. I consider calling Emily, asking her what really happened, but the fear of confirming my worst fears holds me back. What if they really did forget? Or worse, what if they didn't want me there? My steps slow as I reach my apartment building. The familiar sight does little to comfort me. I unlock the door, the warmth of my home a stark contrast to the cold outside, yet it feels just as empty. I sit on the edge of my bed, the silence of my apartment amplifying the noise in my head. I pull out my phone, scrolling through old messages from the family group chat, looking for any sign that I was meant to be there. But there's nothing. No mention of the reunion, no reminders, no invitations, just silence. The doubt grows, feeding on my insecurities. Was it just a simple oversight, or was there something more sinister at play? I remember the last time Mark made a snide remark about my career, about how I was just a number cruncher while he was out there making deals. Maybe this was his. The next day, I'm alone in my apartment, the festive decorations mocking my solitude. The twinkling lights and the garlands seem to laugh at me, a stark reminder of the joy I missed out on. I replay the events of the previous night in my head, the laughter, the photos, the exclusion. Each memory feels like a punch to the gut. I decide to call Emily, hoping for some clarity. My fingers tremble as I dial her number, the phone ringing in my ear like a countdown to disappointment. Hello? Emily's voice is cautious, as if she knows what's coming. Did you know about the reunion? I ask, my voice barely above a whisper, the words catching in my throat. There's a pause, a hesitation that speaks volumes. I can almost hear her mind racing, trying to find the right words. I thought Mark had told you, she stammers, her voice a mix of guilt and confusion. The revelation hits me like a physical blow. It wasn't just Mark. It was a collective oversight, a silent agreement that my presence wasn't necessary. I hang up, my mind racing. Was this intentional? A cruel prank? Or was I truly that forgettable? The more I think, the more I realize the pattern of my exclusion, not just from this event, but from many family gatherings over the years. Each time there was an excuse, a reason why I couldn't make it or wasn't invited. Now it all seems too deliberate, too calculated. I pace around my small living room, the walls closing in on me. The silence of my apartment is deafening, filled only with the echo of my own thoughts. I feel like I'm in a maze, each turn leading me further into confusion and hurt. Was I ever really part of the family, or just an afterthought? The more I ponder, the more the memories of past gatherings twist into something darker, something more revealing. And then, a memory surfaces, a conversation I had with Aunt Linda months ago. It was at her house during one of her meticulously planned dinners. She had pulled me aside, her voice low, almost conspiratorial. Alex, you know how family can be, she had said, her eyes sharp with an unspoken warning. Sometimes we have to make our own place at the table. At the time, I thought she was just being cryptic, but now, her words take on a new, ominous meaning. Was she hinting at something? Did she know about this? Or was it her way of telling me I was on my own in this family dynamic? The questions swirl in my mind, each one more unsettling than the last. I sit down, the weight of the realization pressing down on me. Maybe it wasn't just forgetfulness or oversight. Maybe there was a deeper, more deliberate reason for my exclusion. The thought sends a chill down my spine, colder than the Chicago wind outside. I need answers, but who can I trust? Emily's hesitation, Mark's laughter, Aunt Linda's cryptic advice, it all feels like pieces of a puzzle I'm not meant to solve. But I can't shake the feeling that there's more to this than meets the eye. Stand up, resolve hardening within me. I won't let this go. I need to confront them, to understand why I've been pushed to the fringes of my own family. But as I reach for my coat, ready to face the cold and the truth, another thought strikes me. What if the truth is something I'm not prepared to handle? What if it's not just about a forgotten invitation, but about something much deeper, something that could change everything? I remember now Aunt Linda had mentioned the reunion date, but it was in passing during a discussion about something else entirely. I had nodded, but in my mind, I had set the date for the next day. A simple misunderstanding, or so I thought. But now, with the weight of yesterday's revelation, I see it differently. I decide to confront the family, not with anger, but with a need for understanding. I drive to Aunt Linda's house, where the remnants of the reunion are still visible. The decorations, the leftover food, the laughter now replaced by the quiet of the aftermath. Aunt Linda opens the door, her face a mix of surprise and guilt. "Alex, I didn't expect you," she says, her voice soft. I step inside. The familiar scent of her home, a blend of cinnamon and old books, hits me, but there's something else in the air, something that doesn't fit with the story I've been told. The living room, usually a place of warmth and family, feels cold, almost sterile. The photos from the reunion are still up, but one catches my eye. It's not just the family gathered, but there's an extra chair, an empty seat, right next to where I would have sat. Aunt Linda notices my gaze, her eyes following mine to the photo. "Alex, we thought it was best," she starts, her voice trembling slightly. "Best for who, Aunt Linda?" I ask, my voice calm but firm. "I'm not here to argue. I need to understand." She sighs, a deep, weary sound. "Your father, before he passed, he made me promise something. He said there were things you weren't ready to know, things about your birth, about why you might feel different from the rest of us." The room spins slightly. My father, who died when I was just a teenager, had always been a figure of mystery. His stories of his life before us always vague, always with a hint of something unsaid. "What things?" I press, my heart pounding in my chest. She hesitates, then walks over to a drawer, pulling out an old, worn envelope. "He left this for you, to be given when the time was right. I thought the reunion would be too much, too soon." I take the envelope, my hands shaking as I open it. Inside, there's a letter, the handwriting unmistakably my father's. "Alex, if you're reading this, it means you're ready for the truth. I've kept this from you to protect you, but now you need to know. You were adopted, son. Your birth mother, she couldn't care for you, and I promised her I'd keep you safe, loved. But there's more. Your biological family, they have a history, a legacy of sorts that I feared might burden you too soon." The words blur as tears fill my eyes. Adopted, a legacy. My mind races, piecing together the odd comments, the distant looks, the feeling of being an outsider. Aunt Linda places a gentle hand on my shoulder. "We all love you, Alex, but your father wanted you to have a normal life, as much as possible. He thought this might change how you see yourself, how you see us." I look up at her, the pieces of my life rearranging themselves. "And the reunion? Why exclude me from that?" She looks away, then back at me, her eyes filled with a mix of regret and resolve. "We thought, maybe, it would be easier for you to learn. This in a more controlled environment, not in the chaos of a family gathering where emotions run high." The room feels smaller now, the walls closing in with the weight of this revelation. I stand, the letter clutched in my hand, feeling both betrayed and strangely liberated. I need some time, I say, my voice barely a whisper. As I turn to leave, Aunt Linda calls out, Alex, we're your family no matter what. Remember that. But as I step outside, the cold Chicago wind greeting me, I realize I'm not just stepping out of Aunt Linda's house, but into a new chapter of my life, one where the truth has set me free, yet left me adrift in a sea of questions and emotions. The wind feels different now, not just cold, but carrying the weight of revelations, of secrets long kept. I drive back to my apartment, the letter from my father burning a hole in my pocket. Each word he wrote echoes in my mind, a mix of love and the burden of truth. I park, the engine's hum fading into silence, and I sit there, the car's warmth a stark contrast to the turmoil inside me. The apartment feels different when I enter. The decorations now seem like relics of a past life, a life where I was Alex, the outsider, not knowing why. I sit on the couch, the letter spread out before me, reading it over and over, each time finding new layers of meaning, new implications about my identity. My phone buzzes, breaking the silence. It's Emily. I hesitate, then answer. Alex, are you okay? Her voice is laced with concern, a genuine worry that feels different now, knowing what I know. I'm processing, I manage to say, my voice thick with emotion. We didn't mean to hurt you, Alex. We thought we were protecting you, she explains, her words careful, measured. Protecting me from what, Emily? From knowing who I am? My voice rises, not in anger, but in a desperate need for clarity. There's a pause, a heavy silence that speaks of years of secrets. From the weight of a legacy that might have changed how you see yourself, how you see us, she finally says. The words hit me, resonating with Aunt Linda's earlier explanation. A legacy. My mind races, trying to piece together the fragments of my life. What kind of legacy? I ask, the question hanging between us like a challenge. It's complicated, Alex. Your biological family, they have a history. Your father, our father, he wanted you to have a normal life, free from the expectations, the burdens that come with that history. I lean back, the room spinning slightly, as I try to absorb this. And you all knew? You all kept this from me? We thought it was for the best. But now, seeing how it's affected you, maybe we were wrong, Emily admits, her voice breaking slightly. The conversation ends with promises to talk more, to explain further, but I'm left with a hollow feeling. The family I thought I knew, the one I felt excluded from, was trying to shield me from something larger, something that now feels like a void in my identity. I look around my apartment, the decorations, the life I've built here, all seem like they belong to someone else. I need to understand this legacy, this history. I need to find my place in this new narrative of my life. The next morning, I wake up with a resolve. I need to find out more about my biological family, about this legacy. I start with the basics, searching online, looking for any clues, any names that might connect me to my past. The search feels like digging through layers of time, each click, each search result, a step closer to understanding. Days pass in a blur of research, of piecing together a puzzle that seems to grow larger with each piece I find. I discover names, old news articles, hints of a family with influence, with a past that's both illustrious and shadowed. One evening, as the city lights begin to twinkle, I get a call from an unknown number. Hello? I answer, my voice cautious. Alex, it's your Aunt Linda. I think it's time we talked. Really talked, she says, her tone serious, devoid of the usual warmth. I agree to meet her, the anticipation of uncovering more about my past fueling my steps as I make my way to her house once again. This time, the drive feels like a journey into the unknown, into the heart of my own story. When I arrive, Aunt Linda is waiting, her expression one of resolve. She leads me to the living room, now cleared of the reunion's remnants, and sits me down. There are things you need to know. Things I should have told you long ago, she begins, her voice steady but filled with an undercurrent of sorrow. I sit, the letter still in my hand, feeling the weight of her words. Go on, I urge, my voice a mix of curiosity and dread. Your father, my brother, he was part of a family with a long, complicated history. They were involved in, let's say, influential circles. Not all of it was above board, Alex. There were dealings, secrets, and a legacy that could have put you in danger if you knew too soon. My mind races, trying to reconcile this image of my father with the man I knew. Danger? What kind of danger? She takes a deep breath, her eyes meeting mine with a gravity I've never seen before. Your biological family, the ones who gave you up, they were entangled in a world of politics, power, and sometimes less savory activities. Your father, he wanted to protect you from that, to give you a chance at a life free from those shadows. The room feels like it's closing in, the walls whispering secrets I've never heard. And the reunion? Why keep me away from that? Aunt Linda looks down, then back at me, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. We thought maybe it would be easier for you to learn this in a more controlled environment, not in the chaos of a family gathering where emotions run high. I nod, understanding now the empty chair, the silence, the looks. And what about Mark, Emily? Did they know? They knew enough to understand why we had to be careful, but the full extent, the depth of it all, that was something your father wanted to shield you from. The room is silent, save for the ticking of the old grandfather clock in the corner, a steady reminder of time passing, of secrets kept. I need to know more, Aunt Linda, about my birth family, about this legacy. She nods, standing up to retrieve a small, ornate box from a shelf. This belonged to your father. Inside, you'll find more about your heritage, about the choices he made for you. I open the box, my fingers brushing against old photographs, letters, and documents. Each piece feels like a puzzle piece of my identity, a part of me I've never known. Why now? Why tell me now? Because, she says, her voice breaking, you're ready, Alex. And because I can't bear the thought of you feeling like an outsider in your own family anymore. You are loved deeply by all of us, but you deserve, to know the truth. We sit down, the family gathered around, and I express my feelings, the hurt, the confusion. Aunt Linda, with tears in her eyes, apologizes for the misunderstanding. We love you, Alex. We just wanted to do something special, she says, her voice breaking. Mark, for once, is serious. I'm sorry, bro. I thought it was a good idea. I didn't realize how it would come off. The conversation turns into a cathartic release, where we all share our feelings, our fears of not being enough for each other. We laugh, we cry, and we plan for real inclusive gatherings in the future. As I leave, not alone but with my family, I realize that sometimes the silence isn't about being forgotten. It's about the space left for surprises, for love to grow in unexpected ways. But as I drive away, I wonder, what will our next family reunion truly look like? Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment if you enjoyed this story. This will help us create more engaging stories for you.